Has peer-to-peer communication radically changed society? Peer-to-peer was originally a term coined by computer scientists that described a way of sharing workload between equal parties, although it has come to be used for many different relational models. Peer-to-peer communication in this context is unmediated and direct communication between equals. There has been a steady increase in the number of peer-to-peer models we're seeing in society. Part of the rise in peer-to-peer communication might be attributed to the new generation. Millennials, or Generation Y, are often described as digital natives or as having digital wisdom. They're the first generation to grow up with computers in their homes and are one of the biggest users of digital technology. As a generation, they are much more used to the idea of sharing mediated by online platforms. There have been many attempts to create models of peer-to-peer communication for everything from ride shares to house rentals to money lending. While there are examples of peer-to-peer communication models in our current society, the success of these is debatable. The peer-to-peer communication model does not necessarily sit well within a typically neoliberal societal setup. One of the most well-known models that has sought to include peer-to-peer communication within their business is Uber. The Uber model is that a driver would signal when they're available to work, and a user would then use the platform to ask for a ride. The driver would then accept the request and go and collect the user. At this point, the driver will be displayed to the user, who would then see how long until the driver is with them. Uber has come in for a lot of criticism recently, not least because of the ways in which it treats the drivers who make a living with them. One of the most high-profile issues was the lawsuit in order to establish whether drivers were self-employed or employees, in order to establish their legal status as workers. Uber calls the drivers driver partners and is insistent that they are self-employed. Airbnb has also become incredibly popular, with the site claiming over 200 million guests in 65,000 cities. Airbnb say they are a trusted community marketplace for people to list, discover and book unique accommodation around the world. Their model is that a homeowner can list their home or a room in their home, and a user can browse to see one that suits. The question is, have these platforms and others like them radically transformed society? I would say it depends on how you are defining the transformation of society. Essentially, we are all still engaging in the same behaviours, calling a taxi in the Uber, for example, or renting a room or a holiday home in the Airbnb, just arguably more conveniently. It has, however, made a difference to how business is conducted, with an increase in reliance on the sharing economy. Has it made people more trusting, though? Would people who use an Uber for a taxi accept a ride from a stranger in the street, or those who use Airbnb stay in a stranger's house? Are we more trusting because of the mediation of a digital platform?
Created using Powtoon.